Hey, fourth graders, go grab your Journeys book and open up to page 305. Stop the video until you get there and then hit play again. Today we're going to listen to a story called The Earth Dragon Awakes, the San Francisco Earthquake of 1906. Turn the page to the first page. It is 5:12 a.m. on Wednesday, April 18th, 1906. In San Francisco's Chinatown, Chin and his father, Ah Sing, are in their apartment. They are washing up, getting ready to go to the Travis's house where Ah Sing works to send money to his wife in China. Their friend, Quan, lives nearby. Suddenly, everything trembles. The bowl creeps across the table. Then even the table crawls away. Chin spills water everywhere. "You can write your mother about your first earthquake," his father says unworriedly. The floor rolls under them like a wooden sea. The bowl slips over the edge and crashes. Boxes tumble from the stack. Their possessions scatter across the boards. Chin and his father drop to their knees. Ah Sing tries to sound brave. "The earth dragon must be scratching," he laughs. Chin tries to be just as fearless. When the room stills, he tries to joke like his father. He must really have an itch. Before his father can answer, the trembling begins again. Chin waits for it to stop, but it goes on and on. The tenement creaks and groans like an old giant. Their bed and bureau prowl like hungry animals. Ah Sing crawls over. He puts his arm around Chin. "Don't be scared," he says. Ah Sing's voice sounds funny because he is shaking with the room. Beneath them, unseen timbers crack like sticks. The next instant, one side of the room tilts upward. They slide helplessly with all the furniture toward the opposite wall. Chin feels like a doll. Their belongings crash and thump as they pile up. His father forces him under the table. "The tenement is falling," his father shouts. Walls crack and crumble, windows shatter, broken glass sprays like little daggers. Chin's stomach feels funny when the room itself drops. They bounce against the floor as it stops with a jerk. For a moment, they lie there. Their neighbors scream from the middle level. Ah Sing and Chin's room is crushing them. Then the floor twitches. It plunges again. There are more screams. This time, it is the ground level that is smashed. Their floor gives one final thump and stops. Dazed, Chin peeks out from beneath the table. He sees cracks. They spread like a crazy spider web all around the walls. Spurts of powdery plaster puff out. The walls crumble like paper. The ceiling drops down on them. 5:15 a.m. to 5:20 a.m. So we're talking 5 minutes here. Underneath San Francisco. The earthquake makes the ground bounce up and down, twisting it back and forth like an old towel. Horses bolt into the street from firehouses. On Mission Street, cattle are being herded from the docks to the slaughter yard. They stampede in terror. They trample and gore a man. 1/6 of the city is on landfill. Dirt, rock, and debris have been dumped along the shore of the bay and into the creeks and ponds. Homes and apartments and stores have been built on top. Valencia Street was constructed this way. The earthquake tosses water from deep underground and mixes it with the landfill. The ground stops being solid then. That is called liquefaction. The soil becomes like quicksand and sucks entire houses down. That happens on Valencia Street. Even on more solid ground, buildings collapse like houses of cards. Thousands of people are trapped all over the city. 5:20 a.m., Wednesday, April 18th, 1906. Chin and Ah Sing's tenement, Chinatown. Remember, a tenement is a run-down apartment building. Chin cannot see. He cannot move. He can barely breathe. In the darkness, he hears his father cough. "Are you all right, Chin?" His father is holding him tight. Chin tries to answer, but dust fills his mouth and throat. So he simply nods. Since his father can't see him, Chin squeezes his arm. Then he shifts around so he can raise one hand. Pardon me 1 second so I can put this dog away. Come on. Come on. Retreat. Then he shifts around so he can raise one hand. He can feel the tabletop, but its legs have collapsed. Fallen pieces of ceiling and wall have turned the space into a tiny cave. His father pushes at the wreckage around him. "It won't budge," he grunts. Chin shoves with him. "The whole ceiling fell on us." If his father hadn't pulled him under the table, he would have been crushed. But now they are buried alive. Overhead, they hear footsteps. The earth dragon's mad," a man screeches in fear. "Here," cries Ah Sing. "Help us," Chin yells too. From nearby, someone hollers, "Fire!" The footsteps run away. Chin and his father shout until they are hoarse. No one hears them, though. Trapped under the rubble, they will be buried alive. "We'll have to rescue ourselves," his father says. "Try to find a loose section." They squirm and wiggle. There is a big slab of plaster near Chin's head. He gropes with his hands until they feel the plaster. Powdery chunks crumble into his hands. He hears his father digging. Chin claws at the broken boards and plaster. Dust chokes their noses and throats. Still, they scrabble away like wild animals. 6 a.m. So this is only 40 minutes later. Wednesday, April 18th, 1906. Chin and Ah Sing's tenement, Chinatown. Chin and his father dig in the darkness. He just hopes they are digging out of the rubble. His arms ache. He is covered with cuts and bruises. Dust chokes his mouth and throat. He feels as if he cannot even breathe. The earth has swallowed them up. "Fire!" people cry from above. He feels the thumping of running feet. He screams, "Let me out!" His father stops digging and wraps his arms around him. "Don't panic." But fear twists inside Chin like a snake. He is so dry he cannot even cry. He just lies there. His fingernails are broken. His fingers are bleeding. They will never escape. He thinks about his mother. She won't know how they died. Suddenly, a breeze brushes his face like a soft hand. He smells fresh air. He forgets his pain. He forgets he is tired. He scrapes at the wreckage, but he can make only a narrow tunnel. It is barely big enough for him. "Don't worry about me," urges his father. "Save yourself." "I'll get help," Chin promises. "You're the important one," his father says. Chin crawls up through the passage, leaving his father behind. He would be scared to be left alone in the darkness. Until now, he didn't realize how brave his father is, or how much he loves Chin. Chin's hands break into the open. They flap frantically like the wings of a scared bird. "There's someone alive!" a man shouts in Chinese. All Chin can do is croak in answer. Above him, he hears feet. Someone starts to dig. Boards and bricks and plaster chunks thump to the side. Blindly, Chin helps his rescuer widen the hole. Strong hands grip his wrists. He feels himself rising until he sees Ah Kwan's big grinning face. "You're the biggest turnip that I ever pulled up." Ah Kwan laughs in relief. He hauls Chin onto the rubble. Chin has only one thought on his mind. "Father." He gasps and points below him. As Ah Kwan digs for his father, Chin manages to spit out the plaster dust. Then he tears at the debris too. All right. I'd like for you to turn to the next page, which is page 316 and 317. Your assignment is to read about the Texas Twisters, look at the pictures, these 2 pages only, and then in Schoology, you have a 5-question quiz to take. Now, when you're taking that quiz, you can have this book open to these pages because the answers are found on these 2 pages. So, you should all get 100%, right? Right. All right. See you soon.